Alrighty guys, so this one's going to be a bit of a different kind of video here. So as you can see on the screen, we're going to call this the table of lies that you tell yourself. So as corny as it may sound, everyone tells themselves lies as to why they can't do something. And yeah, that's what I said, they're lies. Because if you're sitting there, and if you're even watching this video somehow, some way, and you found me, then I mean you're very lucky, because you're about to watch the best 10-minute video of your life. If you've been watching me now from the case studies, then you already know what I'm about to say is going to be complete sauce. So stick around, and we're going to go through this together on why you think you can't do the things that you need to do. So the most common one that I hear is, and this is one I used to scream at the top of my lungs, was not enough money. So now there is very strange cases where, of course, like you're in between jobs and you're behind on bills. Very different story. Um, that being said, though, you don't need money. Like if you're looking to be in dropshipping, if you're looking to be pretty much in anything e-commerce, like there's so many free courses out there. There's so many free resources that you could learn and literally make money from nothing. Like maybe $30, $40 spent. And I know that there's some of you out there that are gonna say, well, I don't have $40. But let's be real, most of the people that I know who say they don't have money have no problem spending $40 on the family meal at McDonald's. So it's literally just an excuse. And I honestly, if you are in a position where that really is a make or break for you, I'm sorry, but yeah, then you have to just go make some money. And then yeah, you gotta be better with it, because at this day and age, it's 2026. There should be no reason why you can't even have $50 or $60 to put towards something like this, right? So even if you have to save for 2 months, whatever, it's worth it. Let's go through this. We're gonna break it down a bit here. We're gonna do a bit of a different style of a video. So the biggest one I laugh about, and it's because I used to do the same thing, was smoking. Oops. So smoking is horrible. I don't know about you. I was smoking roughly a pack a day. That was about $18 per day. So currently running paid ads, I'm running $20 a day for paid ads. So yes, I'm still smoking, but I'm spending that money on ads, right? So that's one of the trades I made. And that's, like I said, I hear it time and time again. Oh, I would, but I don't have the money. And then I see the same people smoking a pack, 2 packs a day. So again, sacrifices, you can get more money. I get it. Smoking's not easy to quit. Well, it is if you put your mind to it and realize it's literally killing you and you have to quit in order to stay alive longer. But that's another topic on its own. Another one, and we're just going to do the obvious ones here, is just drinking. Let's just bang off a few: weed, fast food, showing off. That's another big one. Going to that fancy restaurant twice a month because you deserve it, while you're dropping a $500 tab, and then you're crying every week and you're paycheck to paycheck. That makes no sense. Who are you trying to impress? Sure, you might impress the girl you're with or the people you're seeing, but in the end of the day, none of that matters. And it's all, they're impressed until they really see the real version of you who has nothing. That makes no sense to me. So showing off is a really big one. I see people even me, I drive a truck I shouldn't have bought. That's my own thing, but there's people that have made much worse decisions too, buying really nice cars, but it's basically what they make in a year. That's just crazy to me. So anyways, those are all kind of in the same realm of things, but it honestly goes deeper than that. Honestly, the fast food one is probably the biggest one that I would say. If you actually, so this is what I did. I went in my bank, I wrote everything down that I spent in a month, and I forced myself to look at it. It was sick. It was $700 in takeout, smoking, drinking, all that crap, right? And then I was sitting here saying I don't have money. Well, once I realized where it was going, I started not doing those things and saving it. All of a sudden, I had lots of money, and spending it was easy because it was already money that I didn't have in the first place. So you need to be able to make the sacrifice, because if you can't, like we're gonna probably keep this column at these things just because it's the five main ones, but like you gotta remember, like everything comes with sacrifice. You can't just get without giving. So if you're expecting to come into this game and just achieve your goals and not have to sacrifice, you're gonna keep living the same life. Like I literally quit all my stuff. I started going to the gym like as much as I can. Well, now I'm a little off, but I still work out at home and stuff. Anyways, I eat clean. Like it's a whole lifestyle change. You can't just think that you're gonna add this and just continue living the way you live. Like you're not gonna be able to smoke weed. Like you're not gonna be able to have money for fast food because you need that money to test ads, or you need that money to order a new product to test. Like you need to start looking at your dollars as soldiers and what you can use them for, not where you can spend them fastest. That like you gotta remember, like if you put in the time now and you sacrifice while you have this time, you sacrifice it all, you put it in the work, you reinvest in yourself, that you won't have to work and you'll have that time freedom back. And like I guess I just don't get the trade-off. So I'll put it this way, and we'll move on to the next column after this. If you're not willing to quit any of those things for your goals, then that means each one of those things are more important than your goals. So you're going to tell me that smoking is more important than changing your life. Drinking is more important than changing your life. Weed is more important, or fast food, or showing off once a month when you know, get a couple extra $100. Like, you're gonna do that until you're 65, and then you're gonna look back and be like, holy shit, like my life's over and now it's too late. Like, so if you're not willing to make that sacrifice, then honestly the video, you might as well just stop watching it here. And I hate to say it that way, but if you want to know what's next, keep watching. And yeah, let's just go back into this now where it's the no time thing. I am an avid video game player. If I could turn my camera for you guys, you will see a full simulator cockpit here beside me that is currently untouched and unused because I don't make the time for it anymore. However, I used to spend the same time I spend here, roughly 4 hours a day, on there. And I would spend that time racing, doing whatever. I'd be on here playing Warzone, like just wasting so much time in a virtual world where nothing matters. And I get it, like video games, right? So I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, and I piss myself off when I realize video games an escape, right? That's what everyone calls it. It's because you're escaping what you should be doing. You're escaping your reality, right? Like that. Like I have a VR, I got everything there. So to me, I'm basically in a real car. Why would I not want to do that? It's super cool, right? But I realize that that's not real, obviously. But like some people, they want to play it because it's, you know, it makes their bad day better. And I think we do need to realize like that there's a point where you can play it. Like I do play it sometimes, and yeah, sometimes, but I get bored and I go start doing more work. And if you're sitting there and you can't pull yourself off the game, then it's a problem. And like it's taking your life over. Like if you're spending 4 or 5 hours a day like I was, like that's ridiculous. I was literally spending my time doing that, and now in the last 6 months I've spent the same amount of time and changed everything. So if that's not enough of a wake-up call, I don't really know what it is. The same people who say no time are the same ones who go and spend nights out drinking and going to the bars every weekend, and then spending all of Saturday and all of Sunday hungover, and then unable to do anything to change their situation. You made the choice to go out. Why did you do that? That's your own fault. No time because they spent all their money and now they're forced to work at their hourly job. That's another one. Like you're never gonna ever be successful if you're trading your time for an hourly wage. It's impossible. Like if you're limited to an hourly rate, you can't scale it. You can only scale it with your time, and your time is never worth an hourly rate. So I just don't understand. But yeah, so. And like those are light touches, right? Like we could make this an hour-long video and go so deep onto all of this, but you get the idea. Like and I need you to be honest with yourself. Sit there and make the same list and go through it, and actually realize like is this me that he's talking about, or am I someone who takes action and doesn't let these things hold me back? Like, and like, we're just gonna go to the, like, as much as I want to keep going on this one, I know it was gonna be 10 minutes. Now it's looking more like 20. If you're halfway through, congratulations, you made it halfway through. But yeah, like, I could keep going into the no time because that was a big thing for me. But honestly, you get it. And like, we'll talk about knowledge briefly. So this one's a bit of a gray area. Everyone has their own learning curves, their own learning speeds. The knowledge is out there though. It's free. Most of the time it's free. It's always around. Like, I'm surrounded by knowledge. I literally look it up. Like, there's ChatGPT. Like, there's so much tools that you use daily that you probably just waste. Like, you probably ask ChatGPT for, the next dinner recipe or whatever, right? But like, if you really knew what it was capable of, you wouldn't be sitting there. Like, I seen that it was in a book. I don't remember exactly which book, but it was like, if you gave a caveman, or not a caveman, if you gave someone like from like back, like in Napoleon Hill's time, our phones with our ChatGPT, what do you think they're gonna be looking at? You think they're gonna be looking up like the next TikTok dance or something? No, they're gonna be searching for all the knowledge that they can possibly get in the shortest amount of time, because they know that that's what's important. They don't have that cancer of thing that we have now, where we are just so glued to our phones, and like, the dopamine and all the problems we have with our technology. Like, they don't have that, so they would come in and they would see it literally as a tool, which is what it is. And like, if you really realize it, like, when you're doom scrolling, you're just watching other people that have figured out that it's a tool, and you're making them money. So once you flip it and you start seeing how things really are, it's really easy to kind of just stop making excuses, because there truthfully isn't any. And like, and that leads me to the next one, which is motivation. Like, you're gonna run out. It's as simple as that. You're going to run out of motivation. I actually really hate this word, because I used to use it a lot too. I used to say, well, I'm not motivated to do that, I'm not motivated. You don't have to be. You don't have to be motivated, you don't have to be passionate, you don't have to even care. You just have to know what your purpose is, what you're supposed to do, and how to do it. And then you just need to execute, and that's it. And eventually you will just do it because you know it needs to be done. Like, I'm not always motivated to go to the gym, and truthfully I've been kind of slacking on it, but I still go. I force myself to go to the gym. Like, I don't always want to sit and make ads and make, videos. I don't even always want to record videos like these, but I do it because it's something that I need to do. I have to get this done, because if I don't document this process, I know I'll regret it when I'm like really big and I'm looking back and I'm trying to show people what it was like when I was just starting, and it's going to be really awkward when I have no videos. So I'm already thinking that far ahead, and that's the thing, is most of you haven't even thought about what you would post for your first video. So it's like, I already have this plan, this game plan, that all of this content's going to resurface and be shown when I'm at the point where I can educate more people and show them, hey, like, look, I started from absolutely nothing. You have no excuse. So yeah, your motivation is going to fade. Like, when I first started this, I remember I was so excited. I decided to like do it spontaneously at random, and I just started recording and whatever, and like, and it was just a drive and a desire every day to just go and record and just go make content. Like, I had like a couple AI channels I was working on, like, and it was just all whatever. And then when I realized how hard it was, and the views didn't come consistent, and the comments and the hate, it really takes a toll. But you have to separate yourself. You have to block out all emotions, because you can't react emotionally when you're building something for yourself. You have to sit there and you have to read the data, because that's what it is. And if your video's not good, it's just not good. And that's, if you can't accept that either, you're never going to make it in this, because you need to realize that you're going to make shitty content. Like, this video will probably get, I don't know, maybe it'll get a lot of views, because I feel like this will resonate with a lot of people, but it probably won't, and that's completely okay. It'll have its time in the future. But yeah, anyways, motivation's gonna fade. You need to be able to overcome that. You need to have like that fuck this moment. Like, you need to have that for yourself in order to keep going. Like that's a quote from MJ DeMarco's book, Unscripted. You should really read it. It really opened my eyes a lot too. I was already awake when I read that book, but it really just kind of reinforces it that like you need to have a moment where you're like, fuck this is not it, and wake up for yourself. I can tell you over and over, I can try and convince you, until you have that moment for yourself, it's not going to really work. Like, you're not going to give your all, because there's going to be part of your old self that's holding on still. You need to have that moment. So that being said, like, past issues, so like this is like family trauma, you know, bad child, whatever you want to call it. Like, we're just going to label it as past issues. Everyone comes from different backgrounds, no judgment. But if you're going to sit and, like, don't get me wrong, there's people who've had really bad childhoods. I know that. And there's also people who have had that and have made it because they chose to take that as their fuck this moment and say, like, you know, I will never live like that again. Like, I will never be in that position, and I will make sure of that. And then there's other people who say, well, I'm in this position because of how I was raised. So you see, there's two people, right? There's people who get what they want because they go for it, and then there's people who get what they get because they take it. And, like, you need to be able to separate yourself from that and ask yourself that question honestly. And if you can't even answer honestly, then you already know the answer. So that's all I'm going to say there, because I don't want to really feel like I don't want to make someone feel targeted per se, like for trauma. I know that it's something hard to deal with, but in the end of the day, you can't blame your life for where your life is now, and especially if you're an adult. Like, yes, you will have a harder time than most people if you had a really bad childhood, but it won't help you to sit there and think about that. It'll help you to realize that you went through something so hard, now you can go through anything. And that's how you should overcome that. Like, you can't sit there and say that that's a part of you and that's why you're weak or that's why you're the way you are. You need to turn it into that's why you do what you do, because you'll never be that way. So that's just a little tip. That's something I work through. And then, yeah, the last one is just big fat out excuses, whereas, you know, I had to stay late to work, or I had to buy that because, you know, the neighbor bought it, or I was too drunk and I didn't realize I spent the money, or like whatever you have to, like, if you're sitting here laughing at me, like, oh, look at this guy with his 10 views, and, oh, well, you know, you're already making excuses, because if you're going to sit here and laugh at someone who's putting themselves out, then you're not even willing to expose yourself. I don't even want to hear it, right? So it's literally an excuse. And I made the excuse, for so long I was like, what if someone else sees me? What if someone sees my channel? Who cares? At some point everyone's going to see my channel, and I'm already ready for that. So I've completely detached. So if you're making excuses, and it takes a long time to get there, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect either, it took me time. But it is an excuse in the end, and you need to acknowledge it as an excuse. And that's really all there is to it. Like, and like, you know, just to kind of reiterate the money part, like I said, smoking, we're gonna say on the average person is $50 a week. That's $200 a month right there, right? Like, drinking, depending on where you live, I live in Canada, it's really expensive here. It's like $35 for a case. So if you're drinking every weekend, you're at least drinking a case a weekend. That's another $200. Like, do you see how it adds up? Like, you don't even need $500 to start. But like, if you had it, it's just much easier. So if you can't stop for 1 month smoking and drinking and eating fast food to just save that $500 and take a shot for yourself, then you deserve everything that you're sitting in, honestly. So I hope this found the right people today. I hope I do end up resonating with somebody out there. If not, that's okay. I know that this video will be shown at some point, and it will make its impact. Until then, like, subscribe, comment, help me build this up and get it even bigger, of course. And I appreciate you tuning in. Have a good one. Peace.